Hello, my name is Adam McDonald. This is ShotMarker, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to set up and run a match using fully integrated squatting and scoring in the ShotMarker interface. So first we go to the standard configuration settings, and we want to set these up. These are global settings. We want to set these up to run a match. So we'll start with event mode off. I'll get into that after. But just for the default settings, normally for a match you'd want the grid off, you'd want the velocity off, size unit in minutes, that's what most shooters expect. The shots mode we want recent, so it shows one shot at a time. Near misses, typically you'd have it 0, so if a shot is detected outside the frame, it will show a warning that there was a miss and it will score 0. We're going to use the 7-second delay. And then sighters could be unlimited, could be 2 sighters non-convertible, or it could be automatic for convertible sighters where full points are converted by default. Now for security, we have low and medium. So in low, it locks just this page for configuration, but to run a match, we want to use medium, which will lock out the ability for spectators to convert sighters, go for record, and affect scoring in any way. So we'll set this to medium. So now we're going to turn event mode on and start setting up our match. So I'll need the password to do this. Now with event mode on, we have the event configuration button here, and then this is the user login button that everyone sees. So we'll go to the event configuration page, and you see from at the beginning we have no matches, no aggregates, no classes, and no competitors. So we'll start by adding some matches. So let's say we're going to run a 2-day match. On Friday we'll have like an 800, a 900, and 1,000. So we'll call this one Friday 800. We have one match, but under match now it says Friday 800. Number of shots 10, 15, 20, or other, so you can set this to whatever you want. Number of positions would be if it's single string, pair fire, 3 to a target, or a team match. And then relays, we'll add relays when we do the squatting. So now we'll create a second match for the 900. And this will by default copy the shots and positions from the previous match. And then I'll add the Friday 1000. Now let's say on Saturday we're going to shoot pair fire at 1,000. So I'll add a fourth match and we'll call it Saturday 1000A, and I'll change positions to 2, and let's say shots to 20. So it'll be a 20-shot pair fire match. And now let's say we have 2 of these on Saturday. Saturday 1000B. We'll copy from the previous. And then on Sunday, we're going to do a team match. So I'll just call it Sunday Team 1. And this one will be positions 4. And let's say this is only a 10-shot team match. And then we'll add another one, Sunday Team 2. So we have 2 team matches on Sunday, 4 positions on the target, 10 shots. Now we have our matches set up. We want to set up our aggregates. So we'd like to do an aggregate for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday separately. So we'll create an aggregate. We'll call it Friday. And this will include matches 1, 2, and 3. Then we create another aggregate called Saturday. This will include matches 4 and 5. Now let's say we want a grand aggregate for all the individual shooting. That would be Friday and Saturday, so we can do that too. So we'll call that grand. And we'll include 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we need a team ag for the aggregate of the 2 team matches, and that will include just matches 6 and 7. So at this point, I have my matches, my aggregate set up. If I go to view score sheet, it will show me a report showing all of the aggregates and matches that will be scored. So we have a Friday aggregate, Saturday grand ag, we have a team ag, and then we have all the individual matches after that. So once we have shooters and scores saved, this will populate in here. Now the next thing I need to do is set up classes. So a class will separate shooters into separate groups. So that could be FTR, F-open, pommel rifle or sling, bench rest. It could be anything that designates one shooter as being scored independently from another. So let's set up FTR, FO for open, and we'll do sling. So you can enter anything you like as a class. It will capitalize. Recommend just using like 2 or 3 letters to indicate quickly what it is. Now before we move on to competitors and squatting, I'll show you how to actually start the matches. So up here for between matches 1 and 7, we can select any match to manage. So we can go to match 1. And then down here in the match information, we have relays. So currently we only have 1 relay. So if we click on relay 1, this actually activates the match. So now at the top of the screen, we see match 1, relay 1, and there's a deactivate button. So I can click this to deactivate the current match. So I'm reactivating the match. So while I have the match active, when I close this screen, over on the top right where the score goes, we see Friday 800, relay 1, 2 and 15, target not squatted because we haven't put any squatting in. And this shows everyone this is an active match. Now back in here, when I'm ready to switch to say I want to switch to the second match, I hit match 2. Now at this point, I can manage this match, but match 1 is still active. In order to actually activate match 2 live on the system, I go down to relays and press 1. And this will switch to match 2. Now you can see here it says match 2. Everything highlighted in green here, match 2, relay 1, shows you that match 2 is active. So for example, while match 2 is happening, people are shooting right now, I could go to match 6 and I could change anything I want about match 6's information or squatting, but it wouldn't affect match 2, which is currently active on the system. Okay, so now I'm going to deactivate the match and I'm going to add shooters. So at the bottom of the screen we see competitors, plus, and then we need to enter in a competitor name. Now this could be first name, first name, competitor number. It doesn't matter what you put. So you can decide how you want to organize the names of the competitors, keeping in mind that they can be sorted in alphabetical order. So let's say, just for simplicity, I'll do first name, last name, Adam McDonald. And then I'll add another one, say Laura Catterley. And now we have 2 competitors. Now we need to assign them a class. So to do that, we just click in the class column next to that competitor. And every time we click, it will cycle through the classes between nothing and then the ones we've selected. If we have nothing selected, this indicates that they're not here, they're not shooting, they won't be squatted, and they won't be included in scores. So you don't have to delete competitors that aren't there, you just need to remove their class. So I'm going to activate match 1. Match 1, relay 1 is now active, but no one is squatted. So we could go to, say, target 3, target not squatted, and here it says none. So this is typically where the shooter's name would be. If we click on this, as an administrator with the password, you can select squatting. Then we can choose someone's name, Adam, and now Adam is squatted on this target. Now if I go to, say, target 4, do the same thing, I can select Laura. This is how you would also change squatting. So let's say Laura needs to actually be moved to target 5. You can clear squatting on this target, or just go to target 5 and select Laura, and she'll just move to this target. Now this also works for pair fire. So let's move ahead to match 4, because match 4 is pair fire. So I'll just activate match 4. And now we see we have a right position and a left position on target 5. So I can select right position, select Adam, left position, select Laura. And now these are right shooter, left shooter, and it's Adam's turn. So I'm going to cut and add a whole bunch of people and be right back. Okay, we're back. So I've added 16 competitors, basically everyone I know. and I've assigned them classes. So we have 6 FTR, 6 F open, and 4 sling. So first of all, in the squatting section, we have options for making changes to the squatting. So clear will remove, and randomize will actually do the randomized squatting. Here we specify which classes we're including. So with nothing selected, it's all classes, but we can choose one or multiple classes to actually change the squatting for. And then same thing with targets. We can choose which targets we're actually using, or leave them all deselected for all targets. So if we'd like to randomize the squatting, we need to decide which classes we're going to include and which targets we're going to include. So let's say, for example, we include just FTR and only on targets 3, 4, and 5. Then when I randomize, it's going to choose a random FTR shooter to assign to target 3, 4, and 5. It will choose a random target until there are no more targets. So here we have 3, 4, 5, and then we needed a relay 2 because there's 6 shooters, so 3, 4, and 5. So I'll do a simpler example. I'll clear this. Let's say we're using all the targets. FTR, randomly squad on all the targets, then that's what we get. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. Because it chooses a random target and a random person and puts them there to try to fill up relay 1. So let's say, for example, we wanted to have FTR, F open, and sling all on separate relays, and we didn't care which target they were on. So here we have relay 1, all FTR. Now we'd like to create a relay 2 for F open. So up here we can add a relay, because we didn't need to create one yet because we didn't have enough shooters to try to squad. So we'll create a relay 2, and then we can choose F open from relay 2. So this will randomly squad an F open shooter into a random target, but it will start from relay 2, so it won't fill up the targets that we haven't used on relay 1. Random. And now in the list we see that the F open shooters have been squatted onto a random target starting from relay 2. Then we'd like the sling shooters on relay 3. So we need to create a third relay. Select it, select sling, and randomize. Now we have relay 1, relay 2, and relay 3 is sling. Now the problem with this is we're only using 6 targets and we have 8. So maybe, for example, we would like to have FTR and F open on separate relays, but sling can fill in on the 2 targets that we're not using. So let's clear, but we're only going to clear sling. So with sling selected, when we press clear, it will erase the squatting for sling. So now only FTR and F open are squatted, and it removed the third relay because we no longer need it. Now we're going to select from relay 1, just sling, randomize. So what this is going to do is it's going to try to squad all of the sling shooters into any available position starting from relay 1, but without affecting anything that's already squatted because we don't have it selected. So when we do this, it will just fill in 2 sling shooters on relay 1 and 2 sling shooters on relay 2. Now the problem with this is our sling shooters are on targets 4, 7, 2, and 3. Well, let's say we wanted to dedicate targets 7 and 8 for sling shooters. So we're going to start over, and we're going to make sure that all of our F-class targets are 1 through 6. So we'll hit X, clear the squatting for the entire match all at once. Then we'll do this again from scratch. So now we select FTR, but we're only going to select targets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to randomize only the FTR shooters, only using these targets, starting from relay 1. Go. So now we see targets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are occupied with FTR shooters. And then we want to put F open on relay 2, so we select F open. Now we don't have a relay 2 at the moment, so we have to create it. And then we can say from relay 2. So it will skip targets 7 and 8, and it will just assign F open on targets 1 through 6, starting from relay 2. Go. And now we have relay 2, F open, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the sling shooters are not assigned. Now we're ready to randomize the sling shooters, but we're going to include targets 7 and 8. So we're telling it to squad sling targets on targets 7 and 8, starting from relay 1. Go. And now it will add 2 sling shooters, 7 and 8, and then on relay 2, 7 and 8. Now this table can be sorted by, when you click relay target, it will sort by position. So from left to right, it will do relay 1, all the targets, and then relay 2, all the targets. You could also sort by class, or you could sort by name, depending on if you're looking for someone's name or you wanted to see all of the F-open shooters together. You can sort by any column you like. So this button on the left here, squad, this check mark shows that this squatting is okay. There's one person squatted on this target. There's no duplicate. We can click this button and it will remove the squatting. So now this person is no longer squatted. And then when I click this button, what it's going to do is it's going to squad this person in the first available position that we've set is valid. So in this case, we've said we're using targets 7 and 8. So it's going to try to squad them in the first available position on targets 7 and 8, which in this case will create a relay 3 because 7 and 8 are already occupied. But that's not what we wanted. What we wanted to do was squad them in the first available position on any target. So if we just deselect these and go back to all targets, then when I hit this, it should squad them on target 5 because that target's free. Now the other thing I can do is I can click on 5 and cycle through all of the targets that are selected. So this is how we can manually set the target that we want this person to be on. And we can see when we are scrolling through these targets that we have this 2x warning message. So this is showing that there's 2 people squatted on relay 1 target 7. You can see them here. And we don't want that, so that's a problem. So we can click on the 2x to clear, and then click this to assign them to the first available position. So when you're setting up the squatting, generally, you can scroll down through the list, make sure everybody is squatted somewhere, anyone who's not here is not squatted somewhere, and then everything is checkmarked and there's no yellow warnings. Then we know we haven't accidentally assigned 2 people to the same target. So to recap in general, whenever we clear or randomize the squatting, it will replace all the squatting for the classes we have selected, and it will reassign them into the targets we have selected, starting from the relay that we choose we want to start from. Then we can manually modify which relay or which target a specific person is on the table. And then we can erase and replace, like so. Now let's show pair fire. So we'll go to match 4, and now we have a right position and a left position. So in this case, if we select FTR, using all targets, randomize, it's going to choose a random target. So in this case, we use targets 3, 6, and 8, because we only needed 3 targets to assign 6 shooters to pair fire. So we have target 3 right, target 3 left, 6 right, 6 left, and 8 right, 8 left. And every time we hit randomize, it's going to choose different targets and different people shooting together. So because we only need 3 targets, we can actually squad the F-open as well. So we'll select F-open, and now we want all the F-class together on one relay, randomize. But this will mix F-open and FTR together. So you can see on target 1, we have an F-open shooter and an FTR shooter. Now maybe that's okay. Maybe you expect to have F-open and FTR shooters shoot together on the same targets, because when we randomize their squatting together, it will treat them as a single class basically and squad them together on the same targets. But if we would rather keep them separate, then let's clear them. And we'll squad FTR first, so it shows targets 1, 3, and 8. Then we can switch it to F-open and squad those. And then the F-open shooters are squatted on targets 4, 5, and 6. So now we have all 6 targets in use. Well, we have 6 of 8 targets in use. They're all F-class, but the FTRs are together and the F-opens are together. Now we can squad the sling, just sling, in the remaining available positions, and they fit on targets 7, and 2. Now in the table, I've added a new column, position, right, left. If I click this, it will toggle between the two positions on this target. And you see when I choose left, it gives an error because we have 2 shooters squatted in the same position on this target. One left, one left. That's not right. Another thing that's not right is if I remove this person squatting, now we have target 1, but there's only a left shooter. That's a position error because if you only have 1 shooter on a target, they should be on the right. Right position is first. They shoot first, so if you only have 1 shooter, they need to be on the right. If you have 2 shooters, then they need to be right and left. And if you have 3 shooters, then they need to be right, left, and middle. Now if we wanted to randomize using this strategy for every match, we could select each match. So we could switch to match 5, and then we could repeat the process because we want shooters to change positions. Or if we wanted to copy from the previous match, we have a copy last button. So this will just take all of the selected classes on the selected targets, and it will copy them in from the previous match. So now we have a complete copy from before. So we could repeat this on every match if we intended to keep people together with the same partner on the same target at all times. Now for a team match, we don't do randomized squatting for team matches. Typically your teams would be predetermined and you'd want to squad them manually once you know who they are. So let's say, for example, we knew that on target 1, we were going to have Adam, Ali, Gord, and Hunter. So now we have squatted relay 1, target 1, positions 1, 2, 3, 4 as a team. Then F open teams say Jim, Ken, Laura, Mark. So now this is target 2. So we could come down through the list and find each person that is on a team together and assign them in order, and it will put them on the next available position, which will keep them together. Alternatively, if we activate this match, when we go to the main screen, we see that there are 4 positions on the target. At this point, it's pretty easy to just select and then choose the person. Select Kent, select Bob, and select Adam. Now this warning says Adam is currently active on target 1. Move to this target. So if you're trying to move someone who's currently squatted somewhere else right now, it'll just double check that that's what you want to do, because if you click their name by accident, you wouldn't want to pull them off a target if they're shooting. But we know we're in prep time and we're trying to set up this team, so we say yes. So now we have a team match with these 4 shooters. So now we have our squatting in place for match 1. We can see that we have 16 shooters all squatted on our Friday 800 match, and we're ready to start shooting. So I'll activate the match, relay 1. Match 1, relay 1 is now active. And just for the purpose of demonstration, I'll simulate shooting on all the targets. So now we have 15 shots fired at every target, and here they are. Not the best groups, but it'll suffice for now. So now on each target, when we're ready to save the string, we hit the notebook, and in match mode, it will by default call the string match 1, relay 1, target 5 to indicate what it is so that you can find it later. This name doesn't actually affect scoring. You could change this if you wanted, but we can save this string. So when we save a string, it knows what match it is, and it knows who it was, and that's how it knows what that person's score is for that match. So now all the strings are saved, and match 1, relay 1 is complete. And in here, when we sort by relay target, we see for relay 1, we have 8 scores, and for relay 2, we have none. So now it's time to switch to relay 2. So right here where it's green, 1, we can change it to 2, and it switches to 2. Now, if any targets had shots still on them because they hadn't been cleared yet, a warning would pop up and ask you to confirm. It's very important that you don't switch to the next relay before all the strings from relay 1 are saved. Otherwise, they will be assigned relay 2. So I'm going to repeat the process by simulating shots on all the targets and save them. So now relay 2 is complete, match 1 is complete, all shooters have scores. Now when I view score sheet, we see Friday aggregate, match 1, here's the scores, F open, FTR, and sling, grouped separately with match 1, match 2, match 3, which haven't been shot yet, and the total scores. In this case, we see 2 scores were the same, so this was a tie which was resolved by countback. So we have our Friday aggregate, Saturday aggregate, the grand aggregate is here. We have match 1 with the grand aggregate has been fired. These are the total grand ag scores so far. Then below that we have the individual matches, Friday 800. So here we see each person, their score, and all of their individual shots. So if you need to resolve ties in a different way than a standard countback, you can do that using the individual shot values here. So now to prepare for the team match, we have match 6 active, and I changed all of the classes to F open so that we could have 3 F open teams and 1 sling team. And I've got them squatted on targets 4, 6, 8, and 5. So we have 4 teams, and their shots are simulated on these targets. So now I'm going to save all of these. And now we see that everyone has 1 score. These are the individual shooter scores from the team match. Now if I go to view score sheet, scroll down to the team match. Under the team aggregate, we see match 6 has been fired. We have 3 F open teams and 1 sling team. Now, as a match organizer, the one thing you need to explain to your shooters is that they need to know how to log in as themselves. So there's this blue icon, this little person icon, and every shooter will have this on their tablet, and you can select this and you can choose your name. So once you select your name from the list, it brings up a screen that shows you your squatting for the entire match, or all of the matches, including who you're with, and if you fired any strings so far, what those scores are. You can also click on one of your scores, and it opens that saved string, and then if it's pair fire or a team match, you can select a name, and it will show you just the shots from that person. So this is something that every shooter at the match has the ability to do. Log in as themselves, review their squatting, know where to go, and see all of their saved strings. So generally, when there's a change to the squatting, you'll apply that squatting in the system, and then just tell everyone to make sure they check the squatting before they go up to the line to shoot. While you're logged in, if the match is active, you're locked to that target. So since I'm Adam and I'm squatted on target 6 right now, on relay 1, I can't switch away from this target. So this ensures that your shooters are always going to be on the right target. The other thing is, if you're using unlimited sighters and there's a begin record button, or if you're using convertible sighters and there's a button to convert sighters, those buttons are only available to either the match organizers with the password or shooters who are actively logged in on the target when they're shooting. So if anyone needs to be able to convert sighters or unconvert sighters or go for record, the shooter or the scorekeeper would need to be logged in with the name of the person who's squatted to shoot right now on that target. So that pretty much covers everything regarding creating matches, creating aggregates for scoring, setting up classes, setting the number of shots per match, squatting individual classes on individual targets on different relays, managing all of your competitors, what their class is, where they're squatted, and seeing all of their scores. I hope this video was very informative. If you need any help, please send us an email, adamjmac@gmail.com. Thanks very much.